Again, guys. Shadowita, one angry pagan here. Now, this one is just there seems to be this fundamental misunderstanding that people seem to be having, and I'm not entirely sure people fully understand what evolution is and how it works. Now, there are many different ways that evolution takes its course. Different catalysts need to happen for evolution to happen, but more often than not, it's conflict that is the main catalyst, one way or another. Whether that's in conflict with the environment, with the changing climatic conditions or what have you, changing environmental conditions. So the species is trying to is technically in conflict with that. You have sexual competition in interspecies. In interspecies sexual competition. That's conflict. That's still conflict. Now, I got the argument against this that I just got chucked to me from someone I very much respect is very wrong, and he tried to bring up bonobos. Now, bonobos are a peaceful form of great ape, but their adaptation, that behavioral adaptation, is born originally from conflict. It was an adaptation so as to not have conflict, but it's still born from conflict. Now, our species, I did make an effort to say, the difference with our species is we're so much more destructive about it. I didn't have enough, it was in the super chat, so I didn't really have enough space to write more. But the other part to that was that it's not just that we're more destructive. It's, unlike other species, we are more likely to be in conflict with ourselves. And a big part of this is because there's so many of us. We breed at such numbers that the resources come into we end up coming into competition over resources and such. Now, there are ways to work around this. You can but even cooperation is an adaptation that's born from seeing how conflict has affected such events before. So even that is born from conflict. It's not that I like war. It's not that I'm in favor of war. But there seems to be this naive idea, especially on the left, not just on the left, but especially on the left, of we can eradicate war. We can make the whole world peaceful. Right. You're talking in absolutes. All we can do is try to make things as peaceful as we can. But we won't evolve without conflict. Now, this is where, and I've talked about this before, this is where, for me, balance is key. There's a balance in nature. And on one side, you've got when it comes to humans, like they quite often people like to say they're in the middle, but quite often they're more to one extreme or the other than they'd like to think. So, the Warhawks quite often, and you can find them on the left too, but at least these days, you more often see it on the right, is an absolutist position because it's towards you know wanting conflict, whereas the other side, primarily the left, which is anti-war, which is what just wants to get rid of war as a whole, as a thing, get rid of conflict as a thing. It's unrealistic. And my study of the natural world shows me that conflict is a part of the natural order. We destroyed our environment by perverting the natural order. Like, we're going to green energy sources because we're now trying to revert our course into moving into a more natural order. I mean, instead of you know you know creating renewable in the same way that in a similar way that this happens in nature, where information isn't destroyed or created. This is the physics, right? But with renewable energy, it just goes back. You use it, and there's more of it because it's not just that it keeps coming; it's that it recycles. It's a circular system, and without some massive global extinction event, it'll keep going like that. But if you like, what we need to achieve, we need to bring ourselves to a realistic level. We really do. And it's not like I'm trying to come across as like I'm talking down to people. It just, again, as someone who studied for most of their life, who studied the natural order, essentially, who studied the history of life on Earth and how life on Earth is today and how it might be in the future. Conflict is always there in one way or another. Now, that is an absolutist position, essentially, or an essentialist position, maybe, but in one way or another, it still comes down to conflict as a catalyst for change. It has to be said that for pretty much every progressive victory that we've had to fight for it in one way or another, either violently or politically. Violently or non-violently, we still had to come into conflict with the state, with the establishment, to get these progressive things across. Like, again, it might sound a bit simplistic, a bit essentialist, but for me, it's a case of we do the best with what we've given and with what we can create with what we've given. How do we get? I mean, for example, a lot of people are saying, "Oh, like Ukraine needs to just sit down and have peace talks with Russia." Just ignoring Ukraine's autonomy here. Ukraine has been evolving culturally and socially speaking away from Russia. Russia didn't like that, so it's tried to take Ukraine back like it had it in the USSR, and Ukraine don't want it. This is where war is necessary. They are fighting a necessary war. In Gaza, Israel fostered the atmosphere, fostered the they made the catalysts. They fostered an atmosphere, and these created catalysts which created Hamas and the other terrorist groups. So, and with the way that they go behaving, saying that they're justified in doing this, if they'd just gone in there, lightning strike, and come back out again, and going in there doing little insurgencies in to get the hostages out, I'd be that. I'd get that, but flat out flattening of Gaza and further invasion of the West Bank. Fucking really? That's not fucking necessary. Again, I think we need to be a bit more sensible about how we think about fighting, how we think about conflict. Because I think being myopic about it, being essentialist or absolutist about it is wrong. I think we have to accept that conflict is a part of life, but it's how we deal with that conflict. That's what matters. Not that we get rid of conflict as a whole, because it's not going to happen. That's unrealistic. That's utopian idealism right there. It just is. But creating as much peace as we can, that's achievable. That's an achievable goal. It sounds like a bit of a rant, I know, but it bugs me because it's not like I came to this conclusion through being reactionary. I came to this conclusion through many years of contemplation at all the things that I've learned. I'm only 30, but I spent most of that 30 years learning about the history of life on Earth and life on Earth as it is now and life on Earth as it might be going forwards, and possible life on other planets. And in doing so, you have to learn about everything to do with life. Living systems are connected to those living organisms. So, as I said in previous videos, a living system for us would be politics or religion. Our cultures, our societies, they are living systems. Whether you like it or not. And I'm getting sick and tired, by the way, of this constant war never evolves. War stays the same. No, war constantly evolves. Don't be fucking ridiculous. War is constantly evolving. I'm not, that's not an exaggeration. War is constantly evolving. And what people seem to mistake is that war is still around. Well, dinosaurs are still around. Birds are fucking dinosaurs. But they're still fucking evolving. war evolves, living systems evolve, even religions that don't believe in evolution, fucking evolve. Christians now don't believe in they don't do their religion in the same way that they did their religion fucking thousand years ago. It's just that, like, cultural, political, society, religious and societal evolution. It's I think people are not. It's one of these uncomfortable facts. I'm not going to say truths because everyone has their own little truth. One of the uncomfortable facts of life is conflict is a fact of life, and in one way or another, we have to find a way to deal with that conflict, and only using one way to deal with conflict shows that one is not able to adapt. You can react to different conflicts in different ways. Comes back. Or, I mean, in a way, it also comes back down to nuance again. People are, in a way, they are like largely eschewing nuanced thinking, and then have a go at me for calling them out on it. I'm like, no, look, I mean, I'm not expecting everyone to fucking agree with me, hardly, but surely this is an obvious one. I cannot understand how this isn't blindingly obvious. That you react to different things in different ways throughout your life. Different conflicts happen in different ways, depending on how these things happen, depending on how we react. We don't always react to things in the same fucking way, do we? So, yeah, again, it sounds. This might sound somewhat bad, but to me, it's just realism. That conflict is and always will be a part of a part of life. It just will be. You can look for the evidence. You can see the evidence out there. It's blindingly obvious. Once you recognise this, once you recognise all these different things as a different facet of conflict, you should be able to see what I'm seeing. You should be able to see what I'm seeing. But that does not, again, I reiterate strongly that this does not mean that I think war is a good thing. I just think that the statement that we need to aim to get rid of war completely is unrealistic and doesn't actually help. It eschews nuance, and it eschews nuance in the conversation, which means that we end up losing nuanced thinking even more than we already currently are. Let me know what you guys think about this. It's not even like I'm trying to have a go at people here. It's just it's bugging me, and I just I don't think people get it. I'm not saying that I'm the wise, I know everything. No one can. But this is something I do know because I spent my life learning about this stuff. Applying what I know about the natural world to us is not is not beyond comprehension, So yeah. let me know what you guys think. I mean, I said, what I want is for there to be a proper nuanced conversation when it comes to this stuff. And so often it comes down to we need to find a way to do an end with war. This has been said for thousands of years. Still fucking hasn't happened. Because it's not going to happen. I really don't. You guys on this channel, you guys know me as a non-absolutist. But being a non-absolutist means that you must recognise that there are a few absolutes, just a couple. This is one of them. Where there are living systems, especially living systems in competition. Competition brings these living organisms into conflict. And when you expand that to living organisms that are at a level like us, which have living systems, they come into conflict. That's why I said before that tribalism is natural. And getting rid of the party system in politics, I can't see that really, unless you're talking about really small scale populations. Because once you start getting up to larger populations, that like factions naturally start forming. This is seen all throughout human history. And if you're gonna argue with that with me on this point, then I've really lost you on this one, because you're not going to accept fact on this. You're just going to revert to your biases. I mean, I've had to fight my own bias on this, but it's only because I accept the fact. Yeah, let me know what you guys think. It's just I think we need to be a bit more realistic, especially on the left, and I think we be able to do more and be more effective on the left, or as progressives, if people don't like that term, as progressives, we'd be able to do more and be more effective if we're able to take more nuanced approaches. But no, we keep reverting to these essentialist and absolutist takes. So yeah. Let me know what you think in the comments. Please like, subscribe, and sorry I've not been about for a bit, Badgers. I've had a sore throat. And the last month I had me brother's wedding, so I had a bit of a break for that with that. But like, no, I'm back on now. Feeling a bit better with my throat and stuff. So yeah, let me know. I'm back now. Like I said, hopefully I should be trying to get around to the Envirovids again. And next week I will be doing a live stream with Reagan Elite on his channel. So yeah, please check me out on that one. Please don't like freak out at me for this video. This is literally just I'm frustrated that people can't seem to accept this piece of nuance. But yeah. Blessed be, guys, and Angry Badger also says how we're gonna think up a name for this guy. This is Caprasuchus, and we're gonna think up I mean, for the moment we'll just call him Capro, like they do on Ark, but I think we'll just call him Capro. So we've got Angry Badger, Chris Flow, and Capro there. So yeah, I hope you guys all right with this one. I'm a bit all over the place. First video for a while since coming back after being ill, so bit messy on the exit. Yeah, bless the Thursday, guys, and good word. Blessed be, good fate, and my shield at your backs, Badgers.